Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
Hey, mama. If you are a mom and are tired of the wash, rinse, repeat burnout cycle of motherhood, this podcast is for you. If you feel lonely and isolated in your motherhood journey, this podcast is for you. If you feel like you have completely lost your identity since your babies were born, this podcast is for you. If you feel like every other mom has it together except for you, this podcast is for you. My name is Amanda, and I'm a life coach dedicated to teaching every mom the tools she needs to liberate herself off the back burner. I am living proof that a woman can be present and loving to her kids while also being a whole-ass person outside of being that kid's mom. The secret? Learning when to say fuck it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fuck It Mothering. I'm your host, Amanda Haro, and I'm so excited that you were here. I know as a mom, your time is very, very precious, and I'm so grateful for all of you who come and join me every single week in this space, where we can just be like whole ass humans outside of just being a mom, where we can be Amanda, not, the girl's mom. And today I have another guest for you guys. I'm so excited to share this conversation because I've had other guests on talking about divorce and co-parenting. But this conversation was unique. Julia is specifically a co-parenting coach. And we really honed in on that topic rather than it being like an off topic of a broader story. And she's just so much fun. She was so much fun to hang out with and to chat with. And it's so real and relatable. All of my guests are, because that's just kind of the person that I attract. And that's the kind of stories that I intend to share with you guys. Little life update for me. What is going on with me? Not really doing very much right now. It was the 4th of July weekend, last weekend, and there was a carnival in town. So the kids and I went to that, which was fun. And we also spent the actual 4th with friends and swam in their pool all day and had barbecue and were able to do some fireworks. And then the city put on a fireworks show on Sunday night. So we went to that too. And so, yeah, it was just a good old fashioned American weekend. It was kind of frustrating though, because my 11-year-old is going through this phase where she just is a bump on a log. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to hang out with us. She doesn't want to have participate in movie nights. And it's been hard for me to find a balance with letting her be herself, and not fighting with her all the time, not trying to force her to be something that she's just not right now. But also finding the line of okay, kid, fuck off. Oh, thank you, phone. But finding the balance between letting her be who she is, but also, okay, come on, get up, get dressed. We're going to the carnival, because she didn't want to go to the carnival. And I was so confused. I was like, dude, it's not like I'm asking you to do chores or something super boring and not this is going to be fun. And she was just well, what is it? What all is there? What rides are there? What are we going to be doing the whole time? And I was like, I don't know. It's an adventure. Just get in the car. So I did finally end up talking her into it. And lo and behold, she had fun. I was so shocked. But good grief. It can be rough when you have when you have a preteen teenager who just doesn't want to do anything with you anymore. They're just nope. Or she wants to do exactly one thing and that's it. So if we're not doing that thing, she's just going to stay. She opts to stay home by herself, which is so weird and boring. And I don't get it. it is hard finding that balance. So if you are in that boat along with me and you're struggling, I am here for you. Okay. It is hard and you're doing a great job. You're doing a phenomenal job. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure it out. Right. But yeah, it was just a good old fashioned, as my dad would have called it, like Americana weekend. I really love the 4th of July. I always have. And it reminds me of my dad too. He has since passed on and, he always loved, the 4th of July. Just, I don't know. There's something about it, right? There's just sort of a nostalgia that just comes along with every holiday, I suppose. But, 4th of July, I don't know what it is. I just really love it. I love the fireworks and the barbecuing and the swimming. And I love how relaxed it is too, right? Because the expectations, the bar is so low and it's all about like getting together with friends and family. If you live close to family, I don't live close to my family. But getting together with friends, getting together with community and, blowing shit up because America. I hope that you guys blew shit up in a responsible way and that no one is hurt. Okay, let's be smart, please. Let's change that stereotype of Americans. But it was a really fun weekend, and it was supposed to storm like Thursday through Sunday, so I'm really glad it didn't. We got a little bit of rain like on actual 4th of July, but it wasn't a storm. And so we were just swimming in the rain and then it let up at nighttime so we could do fireworks. So it all worked out perfect. The grass and trees and shit could still get a little bit of water and we still got to do our fireworks. So cheers. But yeah, I'm super excited to share this episode with you. And I want to invite you guys to come and join Mom Summer Camp if you haven't done that already, because we're having so much fun in that group. It's just been a blast. It's just been fun. It's been carefree and also helpful, obviously, but fun. And it's not too late to join. We will be running that through August 9th. So if you're listening to this and it's not August 9th yet, it's the perfect time to come and join. It's free. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So the link for that will be in the show notes. And like there was something else. I don't remember. I hope you guys have a fantastic week.
Your hair looks cute.
Thank you. Thank you. My hair is like the one thing that I consistently keep up on. That's like my thing for me. When I was a young mom and all my kids were really young, like my hair just went out the window. And so when I was actually, that was the first thing I did for myself. I'm remembering that now. When I was like, I need to start taking care of myself. I challenged myself to do my hair every day for a month.
Wow.
So I went from like doing nothing with my hair to like, we're doing it every day for a month. And it was such a huge shift for me in like how I felt.
Yeah. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I did a challenge like that, but I didn't follow through with it. That I was going to get dressed every morning, but like, because I work from home, like dressed, like, like I was going into town, downtown for a meeting or something.
Right.
Because I mentally feel different.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like I have to wear shoes, can't do anything. I can't like be at my desk and working without shoes because it just feels weird. Like I'm on break or something, like I'm not. So, and even I have Birkenstocks on right now. We'll see if that makes me a little crunchier because I don't usually wear it. So anyway, all right. Epic. What we talk about?
Well, I'll introduce myself. I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we'll just get going. We'll just start talking. So, Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fuck It Mothering. I'm your host, Amanda Haro, and I have another lovely guest. I'm so excited for this conversation, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. So nice to be here. My name's Julia Hoffman, and I am a mother have 4 daughters like you, which I can't believe.
I know, that's so crazy.
You don't meet a lot of, 4 girls, moms. And I'm a counselor. I'm a marriage and family counselor, and I'm a coach. And I work with couples who are divorcing, who have children together, and they want to learn how to raise those kids together in the best way possible.
That's so beautiful and so needed and necessary. What brought you to this work?
Well, what brought me to the work of all the feelings was growing up in a house with a lot of mental illness, and figuring out that after my own therapeutic work, figuring out, I really actually like this. I really like, was the thing I was good at, was talking with people, motivating people. So I went to grad school, and then this particular subset of people, I got a divorce from my girl's dad, it's 5.5 years ago. And so that experience being a parent that was divorcing, working with professionals, and also working with women coming out later in life, which was my focus for a long time. Those couples that I worked with, where the woman was coming out and her husband, the father of her kids, was joining, it was so painful and so beautiful to watch that unfold. And I really just wanted to commit my time to those folks, because I think it makes a really big difference.
It really does. Yeah. It's such a, like you were saying, it's such a beautiful and painful transition and piece of someone's life. And it's so important to have support, and like support that's specifically designed for them, instead of like someone else trying to fit their services to suit them. I love that you're designing it for them. That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Because I know that mental health professionals can work with lots of different populations, but I would never have understood what it's like to be married, to have children, and then divorce, and then raise those children with that person. Would never have been able to get it if I hadn't gone through it myself. Yeah. It's unlike any other relationship, that co-parent relationship, which I know you've gone through this too,
yes.
Right?
Yes. And actually, I think our timelines are pretty similar. We separated in 2019. So
early 2019.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What's yours? I'm assuming you talk about it on.
Yeah.
Podcast?
I talk about it. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I'm the type of person where like I go through all of my like mind drama and back and forth, and is this really the right choice for me before I make the decision. But once I make a decision, it's done. I'm not going to change my mind, because I go through all of the bullshit beforehand. And in my going through all the bullshit, I was also like mentally preparing myself, because I didn't get married. I don't think anybody does. You don't get married and then you're planning for a divorce. You're planning for co-parenting, so that was never in my plan. And so in my process of like grieving what I thought my life was going to be, actually making this decision and liking my reasons for it, I also was like front loading the like wrapping my mind around co-parenting and, making it be okay instead of like a problem. But my girl's dad did not do any of that. Obviously. And he also comes from a very, conservative Christian family. His parents are still together. And so like something that he said a million times, and sometimes he still says it and it drives me nuts, is just like, well, I have no idea because I didn't come from a divorced family. I don't know what this is supposed to look like. I don't know what the girls are feeling. I don't know because I didn't go through this. You're the expert. And I'm like, okay, you can fuck off. Because my parents got divorced when I was young.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm too put together to even be able to comprehend what they must be feeling. So,
yes.
Go ahead, Dr. Amanda.
So, it was rough in the beginning, our co-parenting relation. He hated the word co-parenting. He hated when I would refer to it as like, we're not like breaking up our family, we're restructuring it. Like the word restructuring, he just like hated and so I had a long journey to go on. And I'm not saying I was a perfect angel either. I had a lot of resentment that I needed to work through. But now we have a really good co-parenting relationship. And it comes from us just doing work on ourselves mostly. And for like my part, I can only speak for my part, obviously. A lot of it is just like accepting who he is, allowing him to be who he is, and always redirecting myself to like, okay, what's best for the girls? This is not about you, Amanda. What's best for the girls?
Did you said, wrapping my brain around co-parenting, did you see divorce and co-parenting as sort of two different things to
process? Yeah, I did. I definitely did. And I didn't have a good example of co-parenting. My parents fought so much. They were not cooperative they honestly didn't learn how to be like cooperative with each other until I was like 16.
And how old were you when they separated?
I was 4.
Oh, so it's a lot of years.
Yeah.
A lot of years with that.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister. Yeah.
Do you two kind of see this situation similarly, or?
The situation of like divorce or like
growing up. Yeah, you're growing up and your parents and what you experienced.
Yes,
we do.
Yeah.
Okay. You're laughing because
it was what it was. And it was a lot.
Yeah, it usually is a lot.
Yeah.
And you're right that it wasn't just that your parents, you didn't see a quote unquote good example of co-parenting from your parents. There just isn't. There are a lot of people that do it well and talk about it. There's the Gwyneth Paltrow's of, Conscious and Company, and like, but it's definitely not mainstream.
No, it's still, because divorce still has such a taboo attached to it.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that more people are talking about it though.
Sure.
Because it doesn't have to be nasty, like just because you get a divorce doesn't mean that your kids have to experience a bunch of like fighting and stress and that unequal imbalance between the two households and all of that. Like it can be something that's quite peaceful and cooperative.
Do you think people are talking about it more? I'm not a good judge because I'm in it all the time.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you...
I don't know. Maybe it's just like a sort of positive bias that I've created in my own brain because that's something that like I'm actively working towards. And so, yeah, I do see it around. I would like to see it talked about more.
Yeah. Yeah. You said it. It's really, or I think the root of it is the shame around just divorce.
Yeah.
So the shame around divorce, and then definitely the shame around a mother divorcing and a mother not having her children 100% of the time. Mother giving up time with her children, all these different terms that you said your husband had a hard time with terms. 50%. That was like, if somebody said to me, well, you only have your kids 50% of the time, or the kids are only here 50% of the time. That just broke me.
Yeah.
It didn't feel, well, one, it didn't really feel like that. But two, just the idea that it's like, I'd hear it and I just would judge myself. That just sounds so horrible.
Yeah, that was hard for me to adjust to. When we first separated, he had them every other weekend. And he wasn't exactly functioning. So wasn't anticipating him being able to ever really get to the 50-50. And then he kind of like slammed that on me when we were in the middle of stuff. Like I got a letter from my attorney and I was like, I'm sorry, what? So it was,
They wanted. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was just like, what? He just barely learned to take the trash out. Like, where did this come from? So I was very like,
environmental award.
I was very shocked and just, I was so scared. Like just thinking back to that moment, that was the first moment where I was like actually scared, like, oh gosh, I'm losing my kids. I mean, I wasn't actually, but in that moment of heightened emotion, that's what it felt like. And yeah, adjusting to 50-50, like that's been the hardest piece for me.
What specifically?
Just not having my kids all the time, going a whole week without them. I mean, I still see them throughout the week because 3 of them are competitive dancers, and a part of our co-parenting thing is we help each other out with the taxi duties, no matter where the kids are at, because it's a lot. And also it then gives the other parent like a chance to see the kids, in that off week. But yeah, I have a really hard time because like, yes, it's nice to have a break. But I only need like a weekend, I don't need like the whole week.
The week feels a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you notice it when you're home, like you feel their absence. Yeah. I cried. A couple days ago for the first time in a long time, mostly because I'm taking just the right amount of medication that doesn't have me cry very often. But it was a feeling like they just, they were off of school a couple of weeks ago, but then we went on vacation. Anyway, feels like the summer schedule just started. Mm-hmm. And I noticed missing them more. And then I realized I think I miss them more because I feel like I'm missing out on something because they're not at school. You know, if that makes sense. Like,
yes,
when they're at school, I wouldn't be with them anyway.
Right. You don't have FOMO. Right.
Yeah. I don't have FOMO. Thank you. That's it. Yeah. It's a neutral thing. And then when they're in school, they still have like, you have all the school events, like you were saying, the dance competitions. Mm-hmm. So you get to see them. That's why it doesn't feel like half the time, because I don't miss half of their things.
Right.
I attend 100% of their things.
Correct.
But in the summer, it's much slower. So I'm getting pictures, which I love, of them at the zoo, at the little Taylor Swift impersonator person at the zoo that apparently our 6-year-old thought it really was Taylor, and she went to her first concert. And them at the pool and them doing stuff. And I feel like I'm missing it just hurts a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I check myself and I'm like, that's me. It hurts me missing out. They, as far as I know, when we talk a lot, they are not necessarily hurting. They're certainly not hurting in the same way.
No, it's different. It's different. Yeah. But I understand what you're talking about. Like he doesn't really, my girl's dad, he doesn't take them places very often. But the first time he took them out of town for a vacation, that was like a totally different pain. And it was like that, exactly what you were talking about. It's like, they've never traveled without me. This feels wrong. Like I should be there. It just here, like, you know, getting the pictures of the stuff that they were doing in Florida and all, you know, the beaches, and they would video chat me and stuff and show me the view from their, you know, their little beach condo and stuff. And yeah, it was a very, very, I can't place my finger on the right word. It just sucked.
To not be a part of their experience, or to not be able to see them.
Yeah.
Of the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And to know that they're like, and it's fine, but to know that they're like making memories.
Yes.
Without me.
Okay. Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because you know, we were talking about the not being there all the time, the 50% and all that. I saw them less when I was married to their dad and worked a much different schedule. Mm-hmm. Well, I worked at their school, so I saw them, but you know, I picked them up at like 6 or so. I mean, it was, you know, like I was working a lot. So if I counted the hours, I guarantee that I see them, I'm with them more now.
Okay.
Than I was then. But like I had, because we moved to Texas and then separated a year later, but we lived in Seattle before, and I had a lot of friends that were very high level, you know, C-suite executives, and they traveled a lot. Mm-hmm. They traveled a lot. They had big jobs, and I mean, yes, I would hear some of their feeling bad about missing something because they were working, but the context is different than this, right? Like, yeah, it was okay because they were working.
Right.
It's not okay because we're divorced.
Yeah.
But it should be, because we're happier.
I know.
So I find that really interesting. Like nobody would, especially to a man, nobody would say, no. Why are you with your kids 50% of the time? Why do you have this job? Anyway, it's obviously a lot of double standards out there, but
yes, that's a whole podcast on its own.
Yes. But anyway, just go back, just to close on my cry, I cried. And that was it. I just needed to acknowledge that it felt bad.
Yes.
And 5 years later, even though I'm really, really, really used to it, it still feels bad sometimes.
It does. Yeah. I still am a little bit sad every time I drop them off and I'm driving away. And just, you know, like you were saying, just like making space for it and allowing it to be there. I don't stay sad. I'm not depressed for a week and not able to function. And I'm just pining and waiting for them to come home. You know, like it's okay. Just a little bit of sadness. But it's important to acknowledge it and make space for it.
What do you think would be the equivalent? Okay, let's say you were still married. What would be the equivalent sadness or a similar sadness? Because it'd be something.
Yeah, it was just different when I was married. I was a single mom before I was a single mom. I was already doing everything myself. And I was a stay-at-home mom too. So like I spent so much time with my kids, and my main stress was their dad. And also like just the immense load of doing it all on my own. So, but yeah, I was with them all the time. So I don't really have like that sort of comparison there.
I feel like different person. I don't know if
I'm a totally different person.
Yeah. For the better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Better.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that was like married me was like 2 lifetimes ago. I've like evolved so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very embarrassed. Well, I'll just say it was a really good motivation for me to be like just fucking as best of a job I could do at being a co-parent, being I don't really think of myself as an ex-wife, but a co-parent to him, because I didn't realize how awful it was to him when we were married. I was, you don't, until you're out of it, you can't see it clearly. And I got sober 3 months before separating with him, fell in love with a woman who I've been married to now for 4 years. And, it was crazy town. I mean, it was crazy, but I finally felt, but I didn't feel crazy anymore. Like I would look at the three kids. I remember Christmas morning, 3 kids, Christmas tree. We just moved to Texas, looking at this beautiful scene and thinking, why am I not happy? This is crazy. And then I, everybody figures it out whenever they figure it out. You don't worry, you don't have to be gay. It's not so what I'm talking about. But mine was very wrapped up in, now everything really makes sense. I get it. I really, really get it. And I liked him so much more after that. Like we get along really well.
Yeah.
We really, I really loved him. And I respect him so much more as a father now that the conflict between us is no more, because it just can't be anymore. We just can't. I don't feel people have the right to fight in the same way they did when they were married, when they're co-parenting. You give it up. Give up the right.
Yes. I love the way that you put that. And you're completely correct.
Yeah, you have the right to do it. You advocate for your kid, but nothing is like about the person, or especially about the past. So that's what I try to remind clients that all the time.
Yes. Yeah, because if you are trying to make it about the person, you're also like making it about you. It's something inside of you that's
exactly
triggered by that. And then it's not about the kids.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really easy to do. I get that. It's really easy to do.
It is extraordinarily easy to do.
Yeah, it is. But it's also really easy now not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I would much rather not be angry at their dad.
Exactly. And like once you realize that you're creating all this suffering for yourself, because anytime I was like wrapped up in bitterness or resentment or anger or hurt or whatever at him, I was the one feeling it. It didn't affect him, like all those feelings. It affected me and it exhausted me. And once I really like internalized that, it was really quite easy for me to let it go.
But the internalizing and recognizing it, that's the big grown up stuff.
Yeah. Got to put my big girl panties on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have like, my website, I think I have like, who is this for and who is it not for? And, I think I say like, it's for people who are ready to drop the anger and acknowledge their own part in the ending of the marriage, like acknowledge their shit.
Right.
But if you just want to, which this doesn't really happen, but if you just want to talk to me about how horrible they are and get some kind of like affirmation about that, I'm just not going to do it.
Right. That doesn't serve your next highest self at all.
No. So, anyway, kind of preparing people like you're really going to have to work hard. But if you do it on the front end, it will be, hopefully you have years and years of this great, really positive relationship.
Yeah.
And years of raising your kids where they benefit from that.
Right. Exactly. It really can be a situation where your kids have the opportunity to get the best version of both you and their other parent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like your kids do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
they do.
We're basically perfect mothers. I mean,
basically, yes, that's what this podcast episode is about.
yes, please have that be the title. Be a perfect mother like us. All you do is get divorced and,
Yep.
take a nap and raise children. I mean, it's really easy.
Take a nap. That is a very critical step right there.
Yeah. When I hear people say that they don't have time to shower or like wash their hair or take a nap, I'm like, girl, you gotta get on over to this side. I'm just kidding, but I always do say like, I don't have time.
I do. Yep. I do.
I'm not gonna be embarrassed about it or ashamed about it anymore that I have time, because I am rested, excited, present when they are home.
Yes, I sleep so much when they're at their dad's. I get so much extra sleep. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I was sleep deprived for many years. You know, I did my time and I get to sleep now.
Get to sleep now. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm just looking at us, like 8 girls between us. That's a lot.
It's a lot of estrogen. That's what that is.
It's a lot of estrogen. Yeah. Definitely is. I was gonna say I'm going in and having mine tested. Is it estrogen? No, it's no. What's the one that when you're premenopausal? Is that the one that you're low on?
I think so. Or is it progesterone?
Estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, right?
Yeah.
The 3. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to get those 3 tested and see.
Yeah.
I think that there's definitely enough estrogen in this house, but we'll see how my balances are. That'll be the next episode. Well, you're much younger than me, but I'm happy to fill you in anytime you want to know about it.
I actually started like breaking out. I usually have like really clear skin. I am blessed in that way. I've been breaking out specifically on my chin, and it was like very consistent. And I Googled it, and it is like in women, typically like a symptom of perimenopause. And I was like, what the fuck? I am 36. God damn it.
Well, I just watched the Oprah special, and she did, I think 35 was the age where it's like, you could be 10 years.
Yeah.
In
hormonal hell before the real hell begins.
Yeah. Go see your doctor early. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
I tell people, go see a dermatologist early for Botox. Well, wait, this is not medical advice, obviously, but I had a friend. I didn't have Botox until I was maybe 42. And I had a friend that started when she was your age.
Uh-huh.
And the dermatologist told her, like, it's preventative.
Oh.
Right? Because if you don't get the crease, then you don't have to work to...
Sure, yeah.
Work, right? It's preventative. Yeah. So I tell my young friends that, and then go to your gynecologist and get tested, because if there's something you can do now...
Yeah, I'm not going to let myself sit and suffer. I know. Yeah. I went to my gynecologist, and she was like, well, we could test you, but honestly, it's probably not to the point where we would even like do anything other than just monitor you. And I really don't like needles. I have like this needle phobia. I don't like it when I have to get blood drawn and stuff. So I was like, if it's not going to change, like if we're just going to let it sit and ride and just watch it anyways, we'll just put that blood test off till later.
Yeah. Until you're ready for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If you are comfortable, if you're not, it's totally fine. But I would
I'm comfortable.
I would love to hear more about like your story and like recognizing that you were queer and that whole like process, and how your kids took it. Cause it sounds like it kind of happened at the same time as the divorce. Was that kind of like, like a whirlwind for the kids? Did they handle it okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. It's interesting because I don't talk about that part as much as I talk about, co-parenting these days. So, well, I mean, just the factual thing that happened was my mom died in August. I decided to stop drinking in November. And then at my second meeting, I met my now wife at my second AA meeting ever. I don't know what number it was, not very many. So we met at AA, another disclaimer. It's called like the 13th step. You're not supposed to do it. I'm very well aware you're not supposed to do it. But I just, there was nothing I could do, Amanda. So we met at AA. We were sobriety sisters. That's what we called ourselves because we're 2 days apart in our sobriety date.
Yeah.
And I realized after 3 months, there was just one day where I realized, oh my God, I'm in love with this person. Like I'm in love.
Yeah.
And I told my then husband, I told him 2 weeks later. Yeah. I told him like,
yeah. So it was just a done deal for you. You just knew and you were like, this is it.
I knew. Yeah. I knew this is it. And I got a lot of, we had marriage problems. It's not like it was out of nowhere, but it was definitely out of nowhere for me, for sure.
Right.
Like I'd never sat there and thought to myself, maybe I'm gay. Maybe that's the reason for, being unhappy or problems that I had. That wasn't it at all. But it wasn't like the best way to come out because it was attached to, I kissed her before I told him because I thought I probably should kiss a woman before, I tell the world I'm gay.
Right.
Felt like
let's just test it and make sure that this inclination is correct.
Yeah. And it was definitely correct. It was definitely correct, Amanda, for sure.
Yes.
But I was like, that just feels like a smart decision. Which in retrospect, that was probably more hurtful. That was more hurtful to him, which I understand. And I never wanted to blame the sexuality piece. I just said like, I fell in love with someone else. I just did.
Right.
So I was not waving like a rainbow flag around him because that felt too much like putting it in his face or having it be some kind of excuse. And it just didn't feel comfortable to me at the time. And we told the kids the same day because he worked at a private school. Gossip happens. The gossipiest of all gossipy people. And we wanted to make sure that they heard from us. So we told them. And our counselor at the time, her advice was, you want to give your kids a snack, like their a favorite treat before you tell them, because it's not as easy to have an emotional breakdown if you're eating. To which I was like, the fuck it's not. Like I've eaten plenty of times and
also spiraled.
Emotionally broke down. So I don't know why I didn't think like, but at the time I was like, oh, that's so smart. So he came over with rainbow sherbet ice cream, which was their favorite.
Do they hate it now?
They're sitting, we don't buy a lot of it now, but they're sitting at the kitchen table. The baby was a baby. She was 14 months old.
Okay.
And I don't know if you show the recording or whatever, but if you're just listening, I'm doing like a eek face. Yes. So young, so 14 months, 5 and almost 8. And we sat them down and the counselor said, you just say it. So there's no misunderstanding. Right. So their dad said it. Mom and I, we want to talk to you about something really important. Mom and I are getting divorced. And my 8-year-old, it let out a guttural sound that I've never heard before. And it will probably always be in me. Just that I was so surprised at listening. I was so surprised that there was so much pain immediately. It just shocked me. And then 30 seconds later, the middle one just projectile vomited at the table, just like no warning. She just vomited. So to which now she's very proud of that story, because she says that when I told her I was gay, she threw up rainbows. That's what she said. Very, very proud of that. And we lost the baby. I was 5.5 months pregnant and lost that baby girl. And she came next. So she's my rainbow baby, and she's very connected to the rainbow. So we cleaned them up, went into a different room, continued talking, and the question was why. Like, my oldest was like, why? I don't understand. And I just said, do you know what it means to be gay? And she said, yes, it's when a boy likes a boy and a girl likes a girl. I said, that's right. And she said, are you gay? And I said, I am. That was it. I mean, that was it, essentially. Mm-hmm. Like, definitely the divorce was way more, had way more impact on them than that part. I think we did the gay thing, really, really well, even though we're in conservative Texas. It just doesn't, at least for our family, hasn't affected them negatively in any other way that any other life situation would.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they don't get shit at school. They don't, my 14-year-old, I can't say my oldest because my oldest is my 20-year-old, my wife's daughter, and I adopted her. So that's the 3 from my body and 1 from her body. But my entering high school in the fall daughter's going to be captain of the cheerleading squad. And
mm-hmm.
she's like forging her own path and doing her own thing. Because I do, back in my mind, I'm like, God, I hope some of this doesn't affect them. I mean, I know that's just such a, like, I hate even saying that's a thought to me, mm-hmm. but, it's still, people have their own ideas about things. And, but I think our family's done it really, navigated that part really, really well. His wife, their dad's wife, so the other bonus mom, is way more like she's like more of an ally than I am gay. There's Love Makes a Family books, like displayed in the bookshelves there, and pride flag. I don't even have pride flag outside. Like, puts pride flag outside, and that I remember walking into their house and they didn't know we were coming over to pick up a kid thing. And it wasn't even like June. And there was just like this book on just beautiful display. And I thought, oh my God, I'm so fucking lucky. We're so lucky to be that supported in that way. It's probably why the kids are doing okay, because both their families feel we all feel the same. That was a long explanation to a it's not a short question, but that was a long explanation.
It was a complicated question, Every time
I try to like shorten it up, and it's hard to shorten up, but that was the best I could do today, Amanda.
No, you did a great job. And you don't need to shorten it up. It's your story. Like, it takes as long as it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing that. It's really beautiful how your family was able to like just evolve, and you guys are all still a family.
We are a family. Yeah.
It's reconstructed.
It's like a Venn diagram, right? So there's like his family, his household, my family. And then we have the crossover.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all of us. And it really is all of us a lot. It's all of us at every game. It's
mm-hmm.
all of us at every school thing. It's all of us at every birthday. And that feels really, I didn't realize how good that would feel.
Yeah, that's something that we're able to do too. And that means a lot to me because as a kid, it was stressful for me whenever there was going to be like an event and both my mom and my dad were going to be there. Like I always wanted to keep them as far away from each other as possible. So the fact that their dad and I are able to do this, and we'll sit together sometimes, in the audience, and it's fine. We're all just able to be there together to support the kids. Like, that's exactly what it should be.
Yeah. There's something about picturing like your daughter up on the stage dancing and looking out, and she's just looking like in one spot.
Yes.
Like
yes.
My family's there. Now, it'd be fine if her family was there and on the other side. It'd be fine. But there's just something that I really, really love about it for them.
Yes.
And then and for us, but
yes. And then like after the show, she's not stressed about like, oh, who do I take pictures with first? And I can't spend too much time with group number 1 because group number 2 is still waiting for me to go over there. And we can't like all commingle because they hate each other.
Can I ask a quick question about are your parents still alive?
My dad is not. My mom is.
Okay. Because my parents have died, and I know that it's a little bit easier to talk about. I feel like it's easier to talk about because I don't worry about,
what they're thinking or feeling.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this does. But did they have the thing where like they wanted to be the favorite parent?
I don't really remember too much of that. It was more so just like a lot of talking bad about the other parent. Just they weren't able to hold like those frustrations inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't think that was because they wanted to be perceived in a...
I don't think I ever really took it that way. Maybe subconsciously. I'm not sure.
She didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom definitely did that. And I definitely took it that way. Like there was no space for anything good for my dad to do, or even my friends' families. Cause I had friends who I go on vacation with and I do stuff with. 'Cause my mom was very mentally ill. My dad was very physically ill. So I was lucky I had other, caretakers, so to speak. But anything positive for me meant something was taken away from her. That's how I perceived it. Like my mom threatened it that she was less than, or she didn't do enough, or so I try to be, we try to do the opposite of what happened, growing up. So I try to do that with the kids. Like there's lots and lots and lots of space for all the people in their life, for all the good things, for them to have the best time when they're with their dad, best time on vacation. Mm-hmm. I try to be really good about like not, and I just don't feel that way. I really don't feel that way, that there's some competition between us.
Yeah.
But it happens a lot. It happens a lot with people I work with that like their status as a parent in their children's eyes is going to change in some way.
Interesting.
And I think it doesn't change unless you start talking really negatively about their parent, and then it will change, but not in the way you want it to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because, handle the truth however you want to, but the truth is that your kids are made up of half of you and half of him. And if you're saying negative things about him, you're saying negative things about that half of him that's inside of them. Yeah. And that's going to cause a whole host of fucked upness for your poor kids.
Yeah. You're not a counselor. You're not a counselor.
I'm a coach.
Oh, you're a coach. That's right.
Yes.
Well, that's a very good coachy counselor thing, because it's not, I don't think it's intuitive, but like once you know that, you can't unknow it, and it really helps. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Again, bringing it back to making it about the kids. Once you divorce, like that marriage is dead.
Mm-hmm.
All of the things that happened, they're dead. Lay them in the ground. It is now about the kids. It's not about you. It's not about your hurt feelings. It's not about what you perceived he did to you or she did to you or whatever. You have to let that die.
Yeah. I wish, and that's my goal. That's my big goal is to change the perception in society, to change the stigma, and to not be afraid to say, things like we said before. It's really great to have 2 extra people, or even if just one extra person although I don't know what we would do without his wife. I mean, we always say that we're so lucky. Because it really is she and I have the most flexible work schedule. So it really is she and I that do like the majority, but my wife and him, they still do a ton.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I would do without her, I guess I'd say.
Right.
It's so rewarding. That part's rewarding. Having the breaks is rewarding. Being in a happy marriage now is like everything. I mean, I'm just in love with my wife. It's like I'm just so much of a better person. So I would love for people to be able to say those things. Like they're out at a girls' dinner and they say to their friend, instead of like something self-deprecating, like, oh, the kids were at Steve's last week. God, I got so much done and I rested. It was so nice.
Yep.
No, I would love for that energy, and the kids are doing really well, to be more mainstream, less shame. So anyway, I'll keep you updated on how I'm doing on that goal.
Yes, please do. Please do. So I like to end every guest podcast with a round of lightning questions. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. What did you want to be when you grew up?
A mom.
Oh, that's so sweet. What's your favorite kid-free dinner? So if no picky eaters get to voice their opinions or bitch or moan and complain, what are we eating?
Like a big salad with all the things. Kitchen sink salad.
A kitchen sink salad. Okay. What is your favorite book?
Oh, Lord. Lord, not the Bible. It's a decent one, but that's not it.
It's a decent one. You give it like what, 3 stars out of 5?
Yeah, it's good. I don't think there's some mistruths in there, but it's okay. I'm gonna. Oh my God, this is such a me thing to say. Melanie Beatty's. Oh God. Oh, Amanda, I'm having a perimenopausal moment where you forget something. Melanie Beatty's, her book on codependency. Her book on codependency, and the name will come to me in a second.
Okay.
So I bet my bet. It has like daily affirmations for codependent people. It's a very good book.
Oh, awesome. What is your guilty pleasure entertainment?
Oh my God, I'm so old. I was going to say like gardening, but that's not guilty pleasure. To watch on a show.
Okay, so for instance, it doesn't have to be like a show. Most people go with like some sort of trash TV. Mine is watching children fall because it's hilarious. I laugh every time.
On YouTube?
Just in life. I watched a kid fall out of the bus, just like, blah. I laughed so hard.
Do you know why you laugh when somebody falls?
Why?
This is, again, another thing I learned on Oprah. Because they're not dead. It's your way of releasing some kind of stress about like that something happened to that person. And so you laugh. Right?
So it means that I'm a good person, not an asshole.
You're a good person. Because if that kid fell off the school bus and didn't move.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
Would that be a laughing feeling?
No, it would be sad.
It would be a terrifying feeling. So you're releasing all of that anxiety.
You just gave me permission to keep this guilty pleasure forever.
Yeah, for sure. Look at all those living people making fools of themselves.
Oh my God. I just fell in love with you. Thank you.
Yeah. I will thank Oprah, really. Everything I know, pretty much everything I know came from one of her shows over many, many years. I shouldn't say that. And a little bit of school, but mostly Oprah.
Mostly Oprah. So what about you? What's your guilty pleasure entertainment?
Oh, I do. Christy and I send each other Instagram memes, and so then at night, like all the ones that she sent to me, I'll read, and it's oh my God, I just die, and a lot of it is around people getting hurt, people stepping and stuff. So that, and we do have like some, I don't know why we watch some shows that are just I can't even say one. Okay, sometimes we watch no, I can't say it. Too embarrassing. Too embarrassing. It's on TLC, so it's not like porn or something. It's on TLC.
Yes,
but I'm too ashamed. I'm just gonna be a human. Too ashamed. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Okay,
yeah.
I've stolen this next question from the Low Life podcast. But if your belly button was an actual button, what would it do?
I press it and something happens.
Something happens. You get something. Like the sky is the limit with what this answer could be. And it's different for everybody. It's hilarious.
Okay. Well, this is the answer I'm going to give you because I just had my first colonoscopy.
Okay.
Last week. You're only 36, so
I've had 3 of them. My mom had colon cancer when she was 40, so I have to get them on a routine basis.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah.
So mine would be, you press it, you poop, and you move on. That would be mine.
Just have it over and done. The prep for colonoscopies is horrendous. Like it's the absolute worst part of the whole experience.
Yeah, really horrible.
Yes.
Really horrible. And so anyway, that would be my that would be my thing, which that is way TMI on its own. And now I think like I couldn't say the show, but I can say press my belly button. But it doesn't feel as vulnerable to me for some reason. What's the best one you've heard? Wait, what's yours?
Mine is that it would make the world around me quiet because like my kids get so goddamn loud in the car, especially in the car. And it's just like we're trapped in this torture device where they won't shut the fuck up and they're screaming at each other and they're fighting and they're yelling at me to like try to make their sister stop. I just want to not hear any of it.
That's brilliant.
And then at nighttime, when they're keeping me up at night, I just push it and it makes everything quiet again. But like there needs to be like the opposite of a do not disturb function. So like if there's a true emergency and like someone is in mortal danger, I can hear them.
Yeah, it like vibrate, like your belly button.
Something,
vibrate.
yeah. A little alert, like, hey, Amanda, you need to come out of your silent bubble.
That's a good one. Once I'm regular again, I'm gonna steal that one. That's gonna be mine because I love quiet. I love silence.
Yeah, I get overstimulated like really quickly, actually, with noise in particular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, me too.
Yep, I would really love to just make everything quiet. They can still be loud, they can still be themselves, but I won't hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just you want to hear it, but like one thing for your brain to think about at a time.
I don't want to hear any of it. I don't want any of that nonsense in my life.
One is coming this way and another is coming this way and the other's coming behind me. And that's where I get like, just I need you to line up because
literally like when they all come and like try to engage in a conversation with you at the same time, or they're all asking you different questions, literally all at the same time. And I'm like, can you not hear that this one just started talking to me and that one right after? Like, can you guys not hear each other? I can't have 4 different conversations at the same time. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, they can, but they just don't.
They don't care at all.
Yeah. They like us. We keep saying, when are they going to like, turn into teenagers that just want to be in their rooms alone and don't want anything to do with their parents? We do not have those, which I'm so glad. There are times where we look at each other and we're like, are we being like, are we too nice? Are we too, what will get them out of, all 4 of them, in our bed, watching a movie. They just really,
really love you. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I don't know if it's love because I think kids, I think it's normal to be like, I need my own space. I'm going to go hang out in my room. And 14 or whatever.
Right.
We just haven't hit that. I will let you know when we do, and when I have a little more quiet around me.
Right.
So, oh my God, this is amazing, but we don't have it right now. So that's okay.
Last question. What's one thing in motherhood you'd like to say fuck it to?
Guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guilt is poison.
It really is. Fuck guilt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. There's just no need for it. And it does not, I do not want my children to grow up and feel guilty about choices that they make, things that they want that don't seem mainstream or being a certain way. Like guilt just never, it never serves us.
Nope, it doesn't. Love that. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. Let people know where they can get in contact with you if they want to connect.
Just go to my website, Julia Hoffman Coaching, 2 F's, Hoffman with 2 F's. And all my information is there. And this is going to drive me crazy. So wait, hold on. It's right here. Hold on. I got it. Melanie Beatty, The Language of Letting Go.
The Language of Letting Go. Nice.
Clearly don't do a ton. I don't read my reading is like, this stuff is all over the place.
Right.
So parenting toolkit,
Right.
Care of the soul. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I read. I probably should pick up a light read sometime. So send me a book suggestion. Yeah.
I read a ton of books and I'm like, this bothers one of my friends a lot, but I'll read like 5 different books at the same time because I treat them like a TV show. So, like most people will like decompress with a TV show. And sometimes you're not in the mood for a murder mystery. Sometimes you're in the mood for a romantic or like a trashy, reality TV or like whatever. So I treat books that way. I have like 5 different types of book in rotation all the time because I'm weird like that.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. Okay. And the last thing, really, I'm just going to say it. Sometimes we watch My 600-Pound Life. Now, the reason we watch that is because I love seeing people. I love before and afters.
Okay.
Right? I love seeing the really having a horrible time and then going to, oh my gosh, this feels so much better.
Right. Yes.
So anyway.
Yes. And you don't feel guilty about it. My kids watch that show sometimes too. I walked into the living room and I was like, what the fuck are you guys watching?
Oh God. When they walk in the room with it, it's like, I'm cause I never want to say anything because there's no, my body, my choice. That's a theme around here. Nobody, your body is just for you. You can think about it however you want or anyway. So I never say anything, but yeah, that one would be my guilty pleasure. So, and we fall asleep every night to Golden Girls. We really do. We put the sleep timer on. We put on a Golden Girls. We've made it through all the seasons. I think we're on like round 3.
Nice.
Through all the seasons because it just makes me happy. It makes me like laugh before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
It was so nice talking to you. I will let you wrap. It was really nice talking to you.
It was great talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Let's connect again. We'll connect again in the future.
Absolutely.
So.
Are you living your one wild life to the fullest? You're not? Why the fuck not? What are you waiting for? The time to live is now, mama. Do not wait until your youngest is in college. Let your dreams hire me for an hour so I can explain how I can help you achieve any goal in your life. You've put yourself off long enough. It's time to pour into you. The link to schedule your 60-minute complimentary consultation is in my show notes. Join the community of Fuck It Moms by following me on Instagram and Facebook at Fuck It Mothering. That's fuck without the U. So FCK It Mothering. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you never miss your weekly encouragement. And please rate, review, comment, and share. All of these things help with the algorithms, so that way when other overwhelmed moms are looking for encouragement, they can find me. Every month, I give away one of my favorite books and a Starbucks card to a lucky winner. All you have to do to enter is write a review or tag me in social media when you share an episode. See you next Sunday, gorgeous.